Hello, good morning everyone. It's Lisa here to share the February release with you. I've got most of it here in front of me on my desk. That's not quite all. I've got lots to share with you today. We've got some great new Easter products, another new full front shaker die to share with you, some stencils, some new word toppers, some other scene building items, and of course a new addition to the horoscope girl range. So let's get started and I'll take you through each of the products. Okay, so I thought I would start with Easter. Easter isn't that far away. We all know how quickly time flies, and there are quite a lot of products in this release for Easter, but there's plenty more to whet your appetite apart from that. So we'll get onto those things a little bit later, but I'm going to start by showing you this set here. This is called Bunny Dear. I absolutely love this little set. She is so sweet. So you've got the little girl holding her bunny and the bunny is holding an egg. So that's your main image. It's a really easy image to kind of stamp and colour. No masking or anything required unless you're going to add other elements into the card, of course. And you've got these 3 or 4 sentiments actually. These two are separate. And the coordinating die set obviously cuts the main image of the girl and her bunny, but you also have dies that you can use for the sentiments as well. So that is the first set that I wanted to share with you. If you're fans of Picket Fence, you'll know that they've released many other stamps in this range over the past 3 or 4 years, and I always really love them. So I had to make a card with her. So this is the card that I made. I went for a mini slimline design for my card, and I also used one of the new sequin mixes in my little shaker element on the card. That sequin mix is called, it's a sequin mix plus actually, because it has the little clays in it as well. It's called On an Egg Hunt, but I'll be showing you some close-ups of that a little bit later on. But I created her just by stamping and using Copic markers, and then obviously I turned it into a shaker. So that is my first card to share with you today. Next up, I've got these 2 sets here to show you. This one here on the left is called Hippity, Hoppity to All, and this one here on the right is called Hoppin Down the Bunny Trail. So in both of them you get these little bunny ears. This one here has a bow on as well, so they've obviously got differing sentiments. Chocolate enclosed there, that's the one that caught my eye naturally. They do both come with coordinating dies, so I love these sets. They're so fun because of course you can have the bunny ears popping up from behind the grass. You can also use your grass dies as well with these, which is what I did on my card. But this is the coordinating die set for the set here on the left, Hippity Hoppity to All. So you've got the main bunny ears die, the bottom image, and you've also got a word die as well, which says Hippity Hoppity, and it has a shadow as well. So that's also included in that set. This one here just has the coordinating die set for the ears there on the left. So that one is Hopping Down the Bunny Trail. And this is the card that I created. I actually used the Hippity Hoppity to All set. So this set here, I took the bunny ears image. I didn't use the main image here. There's plenty on the team that have used that image though, so you can see how that's used. And don't forget, I'll be sharing cards from the team as well as I go through the release, just so that you can see more of the products come to life than I've managed to create with. So my card here, I ink blended the background, and I have actually got some clouds in the background. They're very subtle. You can see them on the card in the flesh, but not so much on camera, I don't think. And I just took the bunny's ears, and then I added one of the, for my grass, I used a grass die rather than the main image. So This is a previously released word die. I just thought that would be quite fun with the words "Let the Hunt Begin," which do come from the new stamp set. So that is my card. This next set here is called Vintage Easter Hodgepodge. Now I've shown a lot of these background builder sets in the past. It's a 4x4 stamp that you can repeat stamp by lining up the edges, and you can create a background of any size. So really sweet little set. Of course you can stamp and colour. You could stamp it onto coloured heat emboss it onto coloured cardstock. They're very easy to use. You can make a pretty quick card with them if you decide not to go down the colouring route, just by adding a sentiment on. So that is the Vintage Easter Hodgepodge. This next set here is called Extra Special Easter. It does come with a coordinating die set as well, which cuts the nest and the 3 little eggs as well. So these are really sweet, these little eggs to colour, so pretty. And of course you've got the nest image as well with 3 eggs enclosed. Plenty of sentiments to choose from. Family fun day, spring has sprung. I hope your Easter is filled with laughter and sunshine. So that's that set, and it has of course got some the dies as well, which I mentioned earlier, and I will have some examples coming up of all the sets I've not used, so stay tuned for that. The final Easter set that I've got to share with you is this one here called Eastertime, which does come with the dies. So you've got the 6 main images here, and you've also got these little chicks, you've got some little dot accents there, and the coordinating die set will cut all of these images, the chicks, and also you've got dies that will cut the 3 little peeps out separately. So plenty of options for you to create here. I did actually stamp up this bunny here called Hoppy Easter. You can see my ink has stained my stamp a little bit, but I didn't end up using it on my final card. I really hope to use it. I think this is such a great little set. I particularly love these two images here. But I've got one to show you from Karen, where she's put this on an action wobble. It's so sweet, really good fun. So that is the final stamp set from the Easter products this month. I have got 4 sequin mix pluses to show you that will be good for Easter cards as well, but they will be shown a little bit later in the video. Now it's time for some cards from the team. This first one here from Julia uses one of the images from Eastertime, and she's paired it with the 3 eggs from Extra Special Easter. She's also used a sweet little bunny from a set coming up in a little bit, and she's made a full front shaker die with shaker card with a die that I'm going to be showing you later on. Next up, we've got this super bright and sweet card from Karen. I mentioned a little bit earlier that Karen had used that bunny image and she'd put it on an action wobble. Well, this is the card that I was talking about. I just love her colour combination. I love the fun element of the action wobble. And she's also used some circles and a stencil that are coming up a little bit later on. This super sweet card here is from Sarah. Sarah has made a full front shaker card. She's used one of the images from Eastertime as her focal point. But for her shaker mix, she's actually mixed up some sequins and she's die cut some of the peeps from Eastertime as well to create that really fun mix in her shaker card. Next up is this gorgeous card from Karen. She has used the hopping down the bunny trail image for her bunny ears, and she's paired it with the vintage Easter hodgepodge for her background, which looks so pretty in all these feminine colours. And she also used the word die from the Hippity Hoppity to all set. Next, we've got this absolutely lovely card from Claudia, who colours like no one else I know. She has taken the nest and egg image from Eggstra Special Easter, and she has grounded it on her card by placing it in a branch with some leaves, which she has hand drawn. I think it's absolutely beautiful, and I love the blue highlight around the nest as well. This one here from Nancy is just so classically elegant and pretty. I love the combination of the brown and the blue. Nancy has also used the bird's nest with eggs image from Eggstra Special Easter, but I love the addition of the gingham bow and the sentiment in that beautiful soft blue. And she also made a coordinating envelope with the vintage Easter Hodgepodge set. The final card I've got to share with you using the Easter products is this gorgeously soft and pretty slimline card from Michelle. She has used the vintage Easter Hodgepodge for her background, and she's also used the bunny ears image from Hoppin down the bunny trail. I absolutely love the colouring on this card. It's so pretty and soft. Okay, so moving on now to this set here. This is called Chloe's Garden. I don't know if this is my favourite set from the release or whether I love the Bunny Deer stamp set more, but I do absolutely love this set. I've made 2 cards with it, so that always says something. So this absolutely gorgeous little set, you've got the 4 bunnies, you've got a spade, a watering can, little gnome, a couple of birds, some snails and some scissors, so as if they're working in the garden. I've actually gone a different way for both of my cards. I didn't use the smaller images, well, I'd used the birds in one of them, but you do obviously get the coordinating dies for all of those. So this is my first card. I went very clean and simple for this card, and I created a kind of love couples card, I guess. I took just 2 of the 4 bunny images and the 2 birds, and I combined them with the A2 lattice arch cover plate, which is this one here that was released last month, and I hadn't had the opportunity to use it, and I thought they would look really sweet standing under the arch. And I did use the circle frame as well from that set. So I stamped and coloured them up with Copics. I added a little bit of ribbon onto the top of the frame there, and as this sentiment here is actually from BFF Favourite Hello, which has been out for ages, and I added lots of little iridescent moonshine sequins around the arch. Difficult to see on camera, but very clean and simple, and I just thought they looked so cute together standing under the arch. And this is the card that I made using the other 2 images from the set that I didn't want to leave any of them out. So I paired them with the Rainbow of Hearts stencil, which was released recently, and I made a full front shaker card using some new sequins coming out this month called Lavender Fields. They're so pretty. You're going to see the close-up soon. So, and I mixed them with some shaker garnish as well, just to add a little bit more sparkle. I never quite know how much to put in. I either put too much or too little, but you know, it makes a great sound, doesn't it? Whatever you put in. So that's my full front shaker. The die's coming up in a second. This sentiment here is from You or Wi-Fi, but I thought it worked really well with these 2 little bunnies. Let's unplug together. So that is that card there. Okay, so this is the A2 full front shaker die that I used on this card. So I'm going to have a video up in a couple of weeks where I make this card, so you'll be able to see the die in action, so stay tuned for that. But it of course works in a similar way to the slimline full front shaker die that was released last month. That is this one here. So again, you get similar but different elements, of course, in this die. You've got the main A2 die, which you'll use to cut your acetate, and it cuts the flaps that you secure behind the panel. You've got this additional rectangle die there, which you can use to cut a panel which you adhere to the back, and that is a sort of fail-safe guarantee that once you've adhered that down, nothing is going to escape from behind your shaker. And of course you've got this plate here, so this plate cuts out lots of different elements that you can use instead of sequins or shaker garnish. You can cut some stars. You've got little circles there that would cut like circle confetti, 3 different sizes, and you've got all these words as well, so you can use those as your kind of shaker element rather than sequins. So really good fun die, and as I say, I will be showing that on the YouTube channel in a few weeks. I'm going to take a break now from the stamps and the dies, and I just want to talk about something that I know has been in the works for a long time. I mean, Nicole has been hoping to bring this to you for quite some time, and finally the products are here. So this is double-sided foam tape, and this pack of 10 panels here, they are cut to 4 inches by 5¼ inches, and in this pack of 10 you get 5 white and 5 black panels. So these are going to save you a ton of time and effort cutting all those tiny little bits of foam tape to pop up your cards on a base card. So you are now just going to have one panel that you can use to adhere down onto your base card. So I'll just pull that back there. They're really, they're quite strongly adhesive, and they feel really quite tough, so not very squidgy, which of course is going to mean that they hold up a lot better in the mail. This is actually quite a firm foam tape. So as I say, the pack of 10 gives you 5 black and 5 white, but you can also buy them in rolls. So here is the roll. Now this is a big roll of foam tape. I can't remember how many meters long it is. Check out the details on the website. But it is 4 inches wide there. So you would just cut off 5¼ inches as you need it for your A2 panels. Of course you can use it for any size card, but the 4-inch width of course makes it really convenient for a traditional A2 card. So you've got a choice of black and white. I've got the black here. It's exactly the same except that it's black. So I think they're a fantastic addition to the shop, and I think they're going to be really useful going forward. As I say, this foam tape is really quite hard, so used on a card, and I have used it on a card that I don't have here. I used it on a card for one of the kit cards that I made recently with the Let the Good Times Roll kit. So that is the foam tape. I'm sure that you're going to love that, and it's a fantastic addition to the range at Picket Fence. Next up, I wanted to mention 4 sets that I've got here in front of me. I will have, these are previously released stamp sets, but because of the pandemic and the situation with getting products and so on and so forth, it wasn't possible at the time to have coordinating dies for them. So you can now buy coordinating dies for these sets. So this set here is called Dance Mode On. I think this may have come out possibly at the beginning of last year, maybe even the year before, but you now have the die set for that. And I'm going to show you an example from each of these 4 sets from the team, but there's plenty on the website, of course, as these stamp sets are not new. But if you have them and you want the coordinating dies, you can now pick those up. So that one is Dance Mode On. You've got this beautiful sunflower here called Face the Sun, so that is the coordinating die, and you've also got dies in this set that will cut out these sentiments as well. This one here is called Listen for Joy, beautiful tree image. Again, now you have the coordinating die, and you have 2 dies in there that cut out a couple of the words. So you've got Just Because I Love You and Thank You. you do have the dies for those as well. And this last one of the 4 is Barberton Daisy, so you may recognise this beautiful stamp. Well, now you have the die, and you've got 3 other dies included that will cut out those sentiments as well. So that's fantastic for those of you that like to have the coordinating dies, and of course it does mean that you can do a lot more with the stamp if you're able to cut that out. So that's those 4. Here are some more cards from the team now. This first one here is from Michelle. Michelle has watercoloured the Barberton Daisy. So pretty. She used the coordinating die to cut that out, and she's combined it with a stencil that's coming up later on in the video. But I really love the soft colours of the flower against the blue of the background. Such a gorgeous combination. This next card here from Rachel uses the dance mode onset and its coordinating die. Isn't that background just absolutely stunning? It makes me want to rush for my watercolours to try to recreate it, but I think it provides the perfect backdrop for the black and white image. And Rachel has also used a new word topper die that's coming up a little bit later on. This next card is from Claudia, who has been wowing us again with her colouring skills. She's using the Face the Sun stamp set, and she has used a word topper die that is new to the range, coming up a little bit later on. I think she has used pencils on this card. Such a beautiful image, but also so beautifully coloured. Moving on now to the standalone dies, and this one here is called Misshapen Stitched Circle dies. These are so much fun. You get 8 dies, and as you would expect, they are circular but not quite circular. So really good fun set to play with, and I have made a card with it so you can see what they look like. And here is my card. So I went with a slimline card because I wanted to have, this is really a different card for me, and I played around with this design for ages. And there's so much you can do with the circles. I wanted to have a kind of funky 60s vibe, I guess, on my card. So I picked out a bunch of cardstock that I thought would go well together, and then cut them with the dies, and then just played around with the actual design until I was happy with how it looked. But I was really pleased with how it came out, and I love the wonkiness of the dies. I think it's a really kind of playful element on your card. And this is a thank you stamp that was previously released, but I really wanted a big sentiment on this card, black and white, so that the colours of the cardstock would pop. So that's a look at the Misshapen Stitched Circle dies. Next up is this die here. This is called 3 Crosses of Calvary die. I don't have a card example, but I am going to share one with you. I've got a couple to share with you actually that are absolutely gorgeous from the team. And one of the team has used this set here and combined the crosses in with the tree. It's a really clever design, but there's some fabulous examples coming up using that die. I thought I would jump in now and share all the new sequin mixes and this pearl mix here, which I didn't show in the video earlier, but I wanted to make sure you saw it here. So this is another one of the Gradient Pearls range. These are not flat back pearls, they are circular, and it is called Soft Shades of the Rainbow. They are really so pretty. They come in different sizes as well, so a lovely shaker mix. This next mix here is called Lavender Fields. I used this in my shaker that I showed you a little bit earlier on. Some beautiful purples, clear and silver sequins. So gorgeous. This next one here is called On an Egg Hunt. I use this in my shaker with Bunny Girl, and this is such a classically pretty Easter mix. It's got those beautiful soft blues, pinks and yellows mixed in with some clear sequins, some lovely pink clays and also some yellow chicks. This next mix here is called Penny and Henny, and it's a mix of green and sort of yellow gold sequins. You've also got some clear sparkling ones in there, and of course you've got those super cute little chick heads as well. The next mix is called Petals, and it's very much a green based mix again, but darker greens than the previous mix, and it also includes some beautiful little clay petals in different vibrant colours. The next mix is called Peter Cottontail. This is very much a clay based mix. Beautiful soft Easter colours, pinks, greens, blues, and it's got some lovely little white bunny ears mixed in there as well. The final mix to share with you is called the Bunny Express. I absolutely love the colours in this. It's got some beautiful soft greens, dark greens, some corals, and you've got some clay carrots. Of course, there had to be carrots. Some little flower heads and the bunny ears as well. Next up are 3 new word topper dies. This one on the right here is called You Are My Sunshine. So this is in the kind of traditional format of word topper dies. You get the sentiment banner and you've got the thin letters along the top there. So that one is You Are My Sunshine, and Nicole has now introduced a slightly different format just to give you some other options to create with them. And this one here on the right is called You Word Topper Die. This one on the left is called Taller Hello Word Topper Dies. So they've got much taller, thicker letters. So that's something different for you to play around with. Time for some cards from the team. This first card here from Amanda is the one that I mentioned a little bit earlier, where Amanda has combined the 3 crosses with the Listen for Joy stamp set. Such a clever design how she has mixed those together, and I really love her beautiful sky background and the addition of the deer as well. This next card here is from Nancy. Nancy has used the 3 crosses of Calvary die and used them as a silhouette against that gorgeously soft pastel cloudy background. I just love the contrast of the two, and I love the combination of colours, the blue, pink and yellow, which is so traditionally Easter. This card here is from Rachel, such a striking card. She has also used the 3 crosses in a silhouette format, and she has created a gorgeously vibrant blue sky behind hers. But what I really love is the silver rays that come up from the ground behind the crosses. I really think that they add some drama and they really highlight those crosses well. Next, we've got this oh so cute card from Amanda. Amanda is using the You Are My Sunshine word topper die, and she has added a sentiment onto the banner which says this egg is for you. And she's paired it with Bunny Dear. It's like a match made in heaven, because of course you've got the bunny giving the egg to the little girl. Such an adorable card. Next, we've got this beautiful mini slimline card from Julia. Julia has used the Face the Sun image in its coordinating die, and she has paired those with the You word topper die, which she's done in gold. And I think it goes so well with that stunning black and gold background. This card here from Michelle uses the new taller Hello word topper die. So she has used it on a mini slimline card. I think it works really well on that size and on slimline and also on A2 as well. So Michelle paired it with the bunny deer image, and she's also using a cloud background, which is coming up next. So I'm going to move on to the last few stamp sets before I finish with the stencils. This one here is called Endless Clouds. It's a 4x4 background builder. I have a really sweet card coming up to show you from Daniel, where he's combined this with Chloe's garden. So fantastic for scene building, this stamp. I didn't get to use it, but I hope to use that soon. And then you've got the latest edition in the Horoscope Girl range. This is Taurus Girl. You get the coordinating die for the main image, and then you get the additional word die as you do with the other sets. So that is Taurus Girl. So this is the card that I mentioned that Daniel created using the Endless Clouds background builder. He's stamped that using Versamark ink, and he's added some embossing powder on there. So there's some beautiful texture, but I just love the coral of the sky against the green grass. And he has used 3 of the bunnies from Chloe's garden. Next up is Taurus Girl, and this card here is from Michelle. So Michelle has coloured Taurus Girl with some no-line colouring. I think her colouring looks absolutely amazing. She's cut her out with the coordinating die, and she has paired it with a stencil that I'm going to be showing you in a minute. And last but not least, I've got some stencils to share with you. I've got 2 slimline and 1 6x6. So this is the 6x6 cobblestone, and it has a slimline version as well. So I've used the 6x6 on a card, and I decided to use some paper glitz. So I've used 4 different colours of paper glitz, 2 blues and 2 of the greens. And I've created this card. So this hooray here is actually from the mini slimline double stitched rectangles die cutting system. So it is this word die here that you get included in that set. So I stacked up about 4 of them, I think, on top of each other. So it's got loads of dimension. Popped a bit of vellum behind just so it would stand out a bit more, and then I added an additional sentiment along sort of intersecting the hooray as well. So that's my final card, and this is the final product from the release. This is a slimline stitches stencil, so I've got some examples of that coming up shortly. So here's a card from Sarah, which uses the new slimline cobblestone path stencil. I really love how she's created that background. I need to find out how she's done it, but she's paired it with Taurus Girl, and she also did some no-line colouring on Taurus Girl, and she has created this fabulous slimline card. This is the final card that I've got to share with you today. This one here is from Daniel. So Daniel has taken the slimline stitches stencil, but he's used it on an A2 card. So this is the stencil I showed you a few minutes ago that Michelle had used with Taurus Girl. But Daniel here mixed it with bunny deer, and he also created the cutest little shaker card. And that brings me to the end of this month's release video for you. So don't forget to leave a comment in the comments below for your chance to win a giveaway. That's a little reminder of all the cards that I created, but head over to the website for more inspiration. There's so much to love about all the cards from the team. So I will be back again next month with the March release for you. In the meantime, I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you soon.